Hello everyone, my name is Dawn McSween and my topic is Listeria monocytogenes, the 2002 outbreak. Slide 2. In July 2002, there was a multi-state outbreak of listeriosis, a disease caused by the Listeria monocytogenes bacteria. There were 46 confirmed cases, 8 deaths, and 3 stillbirths or miscarriages that spanned 8 states in the northeastern U.S. It prompted the largest recall of poultry products in the U.S. at that time. The outbreak originated at the Pilgrim's Pride processing plant in Pennsylvania. Cultures were taken between July 18th and September 30th, 2002. Samples consisted of 1 intact food product and 25 environmental samples from the plant. The results. The cultures yielded the presence of the Listeria monocytogenes bacteria. Isolate from the food product had a pulse field gel electrophoresis that was different from the outbreak strain. The environmental isolates from the floor drains shared the same PFGE pattern as the outbreak patient isolate. The outbreak source was determined to be the plant, and that prompted the recall of 27.4 million pounds of fresh and frozen, ready-to-eat chicken and turkey products. The plant was also voluntarily suspended. Definition. Listeria monocytogenes is a gram-positive bacterium belonging to the Firmicutes division. It is found in soil, vegetation, and animals. It is a foodborne pathogen. It causes listeriosis in pregnant women, neonates, and immunocompromised adults. It presents as sepsis, meningitis, endocarditis, gastroenteritis, and focal infections. It is estimated that 7 in 1 million healthy persons are infected with the virulent form of the disease in the U.S. annually. It has a fatality rate of 20 to 25%, and although it is rare, it is one of the most severe forms of a foodborne disease. Slide 6. The history. It was independently identified by 2 researchers. In 1924, the first documented case was seen. In 1926, it was identified as being responsible for the outbreak of disease in rabbits in Cambridge by E.G.D. Murray. At that time, it was called Bacterium monocytogenes. In 1940, it was renamed after Dr. Joseph Lister, a pioneer in antiseptic surgery. In 1981, it was identified as a cause for foodborne disease, and in 2001, CDC added listeriosis to the list of nationally notifiable diseases. Slide 7. The etiology. It is a gram-positive bacillus. It grows at 1 to 45 degrees Celsius and has tumbling motility when cultured at 20 to 25 degrees Celsius. It is intracellular, that is, likely to cause disease in patients with decreased cell-mediated immunity. In some healthy individuals, it can account for as much as 10% of the normal flora in the GI tract. It is both a veterinary and human pathogen. Slide 8. Diagnosis. It can present in different ways depending on the infection type. In pregnancy, it can occur at any stage, but most likely it is detected in the 3rd trimester, and pregnant women are 20 times more likely to get the disease than healthy persons. It has flu-like symptoms. Diarrhea usually occurs within 1 week of infection. Fever, severe headache, neck stiffness, fetal loss, bacteremia, placental spread of the organism causing fetal infection leading to chorioamnionitis, premature labor, and fetal demise. Slide 9. The diagnosis continued. In neonates, early onset diagnosis is within the first week, usually by the second day of life. It is related to aspiration of infected amniotic fluid and meningoencephalitis. In older and immunosuppressed, it presents as septicemia and meningitis, and also acute febrile. Treatment. Treatment approach is to treat the infection and prevent complication. Minimize immunosuppressors if possible with IV antibiotics. Immunocompetent patients with meningitis may require 2 to 3 weeks of antibiotics. Immunocompromised patients with meningitis, bacteremia, endocarditis may require 4 weeks of treatment. Slide 11. Properties of high-risk foods. They support the growth of Listeria monocytogenes to high numbers. They are ready-to-eat foods, require refrigeration, and are stored for extended periods of time. Slide 12. The sources of the pathogen. Soft cheeses like feta, queso blanco, non-pasteurized products, cold cuts, especially deli foods, ready-to-eat foods like fruits and vegetables, coleslaw, patties, meat spreads and hot dogs, undercooked poultry, refrigerated leftover food, contaminated food preparation surfaces. To reduce risk. Reduction of the consumption of high-risk foods. Effective sanitation of food contact surfaces, and alcohol is usually a very effective topical sanitizer. Proper cleansing of fruits and vegetables before and after cutting or peeling. Good manufacturing practices. Intensive sampling program in plants processing high-risk foods. Effective corrective action plan. Time and temperature control throughout the storage and distribution process. Reformulation of foods to prevent or retard growth of Listeria monocytogenes. Use of the post-packaging treatment to destroy Listeria monocytogenes. Education and risk communication strategies to susceptible populations. And here is some detailed recommendations from the CDC. Slide 16. Scientific studies. Epidemiologic studies of outbreak of the human disease demonstrate that Listeria monocytogenes can cause GI disorders with low or no mortality. Limited information on antibiotic resistance patterns of strains isolated during routine surveys of food implicated in the illness. Listeria monocytogenes is a leading pathogen in host pathogen research. It has become a model for T-cell mediated immunity and has potential as cancer treatment. There is also a rapid pace of research in the areas of microbiology, cell biology, genomics, molecular medicine, and immunology. Listeria monocytogenes as a biological weapon. 2 reasons for the use of biological weapons are to produce illness and death and to cause confusion and disruption. Most infectious organisms used as biological weapons are dispersed as aerosols or airborne particles and used to contaminate food and water. While listeriosis has a high mortality rate for infected persons, the highly susceptible population is very limited. This would therefore not make Listeria monocytogenes a good prospect to be used as a biological weapon. There is no evidence that the bacteria can be dispersed via an airborne media. And the bacteria also has to be orally ingested for infection to occur. I have here a list of my references, and I thank you for listening to my presentation.